Welcome to the English Corner, where you can listen, learn, and level up. I'm your host, and in this podcast, we practice English by listening to interesting stories. Today, we have an engaging and mysterious story that will help you improve your vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening skills. Before we begin, here are a few tips to make the most of this practice session. Listen carefully to the pronunciation and intonation. Repeat key phrases to improve your speaking skills. Try summarizing the story in your own words after listening. Answer the comprehension questions at the end to test your understanding. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. The Mysterious Letter. Emma was having a quiet evening at home when she heard the postman drop a letter through the mail slot. It was unusual because she rarely received handwritten letters. Curious, she picked it up. The envelope was old-fashioned, sealed with red wax, and had no sender's name. Only her name and address written in elegant cursive. Her heart pounded as she carefully opened it. Inside was a single piece of paper with a short message. "Meet me at the old oak tree in the park at midnight. Trust me." There was no signature, no explanation, just this mysterious request. Emma hesitated. Who could have sent it, and why should she trust them? But something about the letter intrigued her. After much thought, she decided to go. At 11:50 p.m., she left her house, her footsteps echoing in the silent streets. The park was dimly lit, and the old oak tree stood in the moonlight, its twisted branches reaching toward the sky. Emma looked around nervously. Suddenly, she heard footsteps approaching. A tall figure in a long coat stepped out from the shadows. Emma gasped. It was her grandfather who had disappeared 10 years ago. "Grandpa?" she whispered, hardly believing her eyes. He smiled warmly. "Emma, I knew you would come." Tears welled up in her eyes. "But where have you been? What happened to you?" Her grandfather took a deep breath. "It's a long story, but first, let's sit down." He led her to a nearby bench and began to speak. 10 years ago, he had been working on a secret scientific project. When he discovered something groundbreaking, people tried to stop him. To protect his family, he had to disappear. But now, it was safe for him to return. Emma listened in awe. She had so many questions, but one thing was clear: her life was about to change forever. As they spoke, the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees. The mysterious night had led to a reunion she had never expected. But before they could continue their conversation, a rustling sound came from the bushes nearby. Emma turned quickly. Was someone else there, watching them? She held her breath as the shadow moved closer. A woman stepped out, her mother. Tears filled her eyes as she ran toward them. "Dad, is it really you?" she cried. Emma's grandfather smiled. "It's me. I had to leave to keep you both safe. But now, it's time to come home." They embraced, the three of them, under the glowing sunrise. The mystery had brought them back together, and a new chapter of their lives was about to begin. And that's the end of our story for today. What do you think happened next? If you enjoyed this story, try summarizing it in your own words. You can also practice by answering these questions. Why did Emma receive a mysterious letter? How did she feel when she saw her grandfather? What was the reason for his disappearance? What would you have done if you were in Emma's place? Can you retell the story using your own words? Who else appeared at the end of the story, and how did they react? What do you think happened after the reunion? Try speaking your answers out loud or writing them down. This will help you improve your English fluency. That's all for today. Don't forget to tune in next time for another exciting story. Keep practicing, and remember, listen, learn, and level up. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our podcast so you never miss a new story. Share this with your friends who are also learning English, and leave a review to let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The English Corner, for more listening practice. vocabulary tips, and engaging English learning content. Click the link in the description to join our community and improve your English skills faster. See you next time.